Hi guys, it's Kristen with Trigger Your Truth. Um, Boy, it's hot out, but I needed to be outside. Hopefully, you guys can hear the birds. Um, yeah, kind of a sad week for me. It was a year ago that we had to put our dog Coda down, and gosh knows he was uh, he was my angel on earth, right? Aren't all dogs that? Um, yeah, so just thinking back to all the memories and missing him this week for sure. But I know he doesn't hurt anymore, so that's a good thing. And I can definitely still feel him around, which I love. Um, but I was also kind of like just out and about and talking to people, and it just kind of made me want to jump on here real quick. And it's interesting. It's just like a lot of times I hear like I can't stop thinking. I'm, you know, worried about this in the future, or worried about money, or worried about my kids, or, you know, I'm a perfectionist and I have to get my home cleaned and it's got to look this certain way, or I'm overthinking, or I have a lot of stress and a lot of um, depression. I mean, I've heard a lot from people this week, and I get it. God knows I've been there. Um, and I'm just sharing my story, but and certainly, um, use all the resources that you want to use. Um, but I feel like I just need to remind everybody is we don't need to be fixed. We need to stop putting that energy out there in labeling ourselves. Um, it's doing, you know, more damage than good, because you're just reinforcing that label um, all the time if that's your self-talk. Um, and we have to realize that we're not meant to be fixed. We're human and we're meant to feel and learn and grow. Um, so remember, just use that label that you're telling yourself as a mirror to get to know yourself better. That's what we're here for. That's what this emotion's for. That's what being human is about. We're here to, you know, not fix that behavior, right? Um, or fix us, but to use that behavior as a mirror, so that we could take a closer look at ourselves and understand ourselves, so that we get better, right? And that we rewire that self talk that we're telling ourselves with these labels. Um, and that's ultimately the first step, is to recognize that label. Um, and then, ask some questions, dig a little deeper. Um, when was the first time you said that out loud to yourself? When was the first time you felt that? Did you feel it in your body? How old were you? What was your ultimate fear? Because that will show you so much about yourself, and we owe it to ourselves to do it, because on the other side of that, once we know ourselves so well, um, we get better with the self-talk. We get to show ourselves grace and love and forgiveness, which is a hard fucking thing to do, right? Take it from me. It's a hard thing to do, to give yourself grace and self-love. Um, you know, kind of funny example. Um, if you go back and look at my other videos that I've shared and this journey that, I kind of started a while back, I talk about that behavior of pouting, and it was a very controlling, narcissistic, passive aggressive behavior that I did. And I didn't even realize for a really long time that that's how I treated my loved ones, right? Um, which was a behavior that imprinted on me, which was, you know, what my dad did. Um, so I kind of had to learn how to be more aware of that. And it was interesting this week because my daughter came up to me and she goes, "I just feel like you're really passive aggressive, and I don't like it." And she did very well speaking her truth, right? Because that's a hard thing to do. And I sat there for myself for a minute, and honestly, I just sleep on it. But I was so proud of myself because I did sleep on it, and I haven't even shared this with her yet. And I woke up and I was like, "Damn, you know, she's 100% right." I was passive aggressive. Granted, I was in the middle of something, but I was passive aggressive. Um, I should have been more present at the time, and I wasn't. Sorry, I'm itchy. Mosquitoes. And I should have been more present at the moment. And so I had to ask myself, why did I do that? Right? Why did I do that? Um, and this is why I'm so proud of myself, because I recognized it much more quickly. And I recognized it. But it was a fear of speaking my truth, um, a fear of judgment with it. Um, and then I just kind of dug a little deeper, right? And that's still lingering there for me a little bit more than what I expected. For example, I have this trigger your truth, right? But I have yet to actually put my name to it and share it on my personal pages. Why? Right? Judgment? Absolutely. I am still fearful of judgment. So help me out. I'm gonna have to do it, right? Um, need to put it out there and say, "Hey, look at me." um, but it's funny, right? Um, it's funny just how much we put on the external. Um, and just because I could sit here and share that, I've gone through a lot and tried to put it all together so that it made sense for me and trigger my truth, right? It doesn't stop. Um, you just get better at it, right? I'm getting better at it. Um, but yeah, and I just, talking to, people at the gym and, just on the phone or out and about. I'm getting eaten alive by these mosquitoes. I just kind of, it just really occurred to me that there was just so much labeling happening. And we really need to remove that, and stop putting that out there, because everything's energy. So we speak those words to ourselves, we're absolutely continuing that cycle. So I definitely encourage you and hope to inspire you maybe to kind of slow down a little bit and ask yourself some questions and start to rewire that that brain that's so powerful, that kind of can keep us stuck because of all the unconscious and subconscious behaviors that we're just, you know, so programmed to do now that we don't even think about. So, be more conscious, be more present, and be more aware of it. Um, And when you start to recognize that you're doing it, you know, journal, get outside, listen to the birds or the hammering or whatever. Feet to grass. I always talk about feet to grass. Crystals. They've been great for me. Um, Anything to kind of help you love yourself, be more gracious towards yourself, and start to rewire that label. Um, and when you do that, hopefully your mind starts to sit still a little bit and you can start to connect your dots and widen your lens and understand yourself, because that's what we're here for. Let's understand ourselves. That doesn't mean not to feel. That doesn't mean not to um, experience life. It just means to be more in the present and stop putting so much weight on all the external. It's us, you guys. It's us. It starts with us. Because it feels really good to be able to sit with what my daughter showed me this week and observe it, and then ask myself some questions, and then widen my lens to even the fear of judgment being even larger than creating a passive aggressive behavior, as well as fear of judgment on, you know, sharing Trigger Your Truth with my personal pages and people, really close to me. Um, I'm putting all this weight on the external, and it's keeping me stuck, right? In that, kind of passive aggressive behavior, where I'm not speaking my truth. What am I afraid of, right? Judgment? Who cares, right? We're not all meant to agree with each other. And certainly different perspectives and different views and different beliefs is healthy for all of us if it's done in a respectful way. Um, just helps us grow and feel and learn and understand ourselves better. So I just kind of wanted to come on and share that. I definitely need to go shower off these mosquito bites. And hey, um, hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I'm grateful for you. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any words of encouragement for me to keep me empowered to share this on my personal pages, I would love it. And of course, like, comment, share, subscribe. Um, Definitely looking to, meet new people, hear new topics, share conversation. So thanks, guys. Enjoy your day. Much love.